Welcome. We believe that listening is the most natural way to learn a foreign language. On this channel we will publish conversations between two people each time on a different topic so that you can improve your English without boring grammatical rules. In order for the brain to absorb the language as much as possible and to automatically think and speak in English, it is recommended to listen to each episode several times at a distance of days. If you find these podcasts useful, we would be grateful if you would subscribe to the channel and like. Enjoy.
Buckle up, everybody. We're cranking up the time machine and heading straight for the 1980s.
Oh, yeah.
But hold on tight, because this isn't just going to be some greatest hits tour of 80s rock. We're diving deep, deep, deep into the heart of the decade.
Into the soul of the music.
Exactly. Using our trusty guide, episode 12.pdf.
Our roadmap.
Consider this your crash course on how 80s rock didn't just blast from our speakers, but exploded into every corner of culture.
It really did.
I mean, when you think 80s, what comes to mind?
Big hair.
Right. Leg warmers, neon colors.
Shoulder pads.
The fashion choices. Oh, the fashion choices.
Sometimes, well, let's just say they were a choice.
Yeah, but the music. The music holds up.
Oh, absolutely.
But like I said, we're going way beyond just the music itself.
It's about the whole vibe.
That's it. How 80s rock became this driving force.
A cultural earthquake.
I like that. A cultural earthquake. It shook things up, changed the landscape.
It challenged norms, provided an outlet for all those anxieties bubbling under the surface, especially with the Cold War and everything.
And rock stars became these larger-than-life figures.
Mouthpieces for a generation.
All for better or worse, right?
Definitely.
I mean, picture this. Ripped jeans, bandanas, movies like Footloose, with all that youthful energy, that rebellion.
Oh, yeah. Footloose captured that perfectly.
And think about something like Top of the Pops. It was beaming these bands, these looks, this whole energy into living rooms around the world.
It was global.
Exactly. 80s rock wasn't just about setting trends. It infiltrated everything.
Fashion, film, TV, even politics, you name it.
Okay, so I'm going to throw out some names, and you tell me what pops into your head. U2, Springsteen, Bon Jovi,
Titans.
icons, everyone knows them.
Anthems.
But our source digs deeper.
Much deeper.
Get ready for Guns N' Roses, AC/DC, still rocking hard.
Oh, yeah, they were already legends.
Queen, never underestimate the power of Queen.
Timeless.
Then you have Metallica bringing something totally different to the table.
Heavy metal thunder.
And Van Halen, those guitar riffs, come on. Talk about a diverse scene.
Mind-blowing, isn't it? And that's what's so incredible about the 80s.
It's not just one sound.
It's a whole universe of subgenres.
Each with its own style, message, impact.
Its own tribe.
I love that. Its own tribe. So let's jump into some of these subgenres, shall we? Our source breaks it down, and trust me, you're going to want to take notes.
This is where it gets really interesting.
First up, new wave. What comes to mind when you hear those two words?
New wave. Well, you got to start with Depeche Mode, Duran Duran.
Those synth sounds.
That's it. Synthesizers became this key ingredient.
Creating a sound that was so different from what came before.
A break from the 70s, a new era.
It felt modern, experimental. I remember thinking, this is the future of music.
It was forward-looking, for sure.
But it wasn't just about the sound, was it? There was this whole vibe.
It was about pushing boundaries, visually and musically.
And how did all of that connect to what was going on in the world?
The world was changing fast. Technology was advancing. The Cold War was looming.
It was a tense time.
And New Wave reflected that. It was this mix of excitement for the future and anxiety about what that future might hold.
Okay, let's move on to another subgenre, synth pop. This one felt like it was everywhere.
Oh, absolutely. If New Wave was the cool older sibling, synth pop was the one that got invited to all the parties.
So true. It was catchy, upbeat, and I swear it was on every radio station.
And MTV. Don't forget the rise of music videos.
The visuals became just as important as the music.
It was a full sensory experience.
And it seemed like every synth pop band had their own unique look.
They did, and that helped them stand out in the crowded music scene.
So we've talked about the more experimental side of 80s rock, but we can't forget about the subgenre that really embraced the spectacle. Hair metal.
Ah, yes, hair metal.
The big hair, the tight jeans, the power ballads, the over-the-top stage shows. You either loved it or you hated it.
There was no middle ground with hair metal.
But it was huge, especially in the U.S. What do you think that was?
I think it offered a sense of escape. The 80s weren't all sunshine and rainbows. There were economic anxieties, social issues, the threat of nuclear war.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
And hair metal provided this outlet, this fantasy world, where you could forget about your troubles and just rock out.
It was all about having fun, living in the moment.
Exactly. And it was a reaction to the more serious political music that was also popular at the time. Hair metal was pure entertainment.
So we've gone on this whirlwind tour of 80s rock, and it's clear that it wasn't just about the music.
It was a cultural phenomenon.
It shaped fashion, influenced movies and TV, and reflected the hopes, fears, and dreams of a generation.
It was a mirror to society.
And here's a question for you to ponder. Did the rebellious spirit of 80s rock lead to any lasting change?
Or was it eventually absorbed by the mainstream? Think about those subgenres we talked about. Did they truly challenge the status quo, or were they ultimately co-opted by the very forces they were reacting against?
That's something to think about as you maybe revisit some of those classic albums or discover some hidden gems from the decade.
Go explore. You might be surprised by what you find.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of 80s rock.
It's been a blast.
Until next time, keep on rocking.
Rock on.